welcome to the Dojo Talk Podcast. Please remove them shoes before entry. Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. We are on episode number 155. As always, you can give this podcast a listen on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and a bunch of other places that we probably are that I don't feel like mentioning. Give us a shout out and a look on social media at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page, as well as the Dojo Talk Podcast Instagram page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei, and you can follow the Anticool also at GC Zeus, and follow me on Twitch at Serial Sensei also. After 2 weeks, we're back, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host, the Anticool. What's going on, man?
Well, it's good, bro. It's breakout.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't know where you guys are in the world, but yeah, winter is coming, and them 30-degree days crept up really quick. Like really quick. No notice. You just woke up one day and yeah, straight brick outside. I knew it was gonna be a bad week when I got in my car and my tire pressure light was on. I was like, oh yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
There we go. that's I'm not even putting air in the tire. I'm just gonna let it. I'm not doing this every morning. I don't care. I don't care.
And either it'll pop or fucking it'll get me with to where I want to go.
Yeah. Thug life. You just gotta take chances sometimes. You just gotta take chances.
Sometimes safety isn't worth it, you know?
Yeah, it's all about comfort until the car breaks down. But cross that road when we get there.
Exactly. It's future. That's his problem.
Right. But so it's been a little bit since we've been here. 2 weeks. I've been on my staycation. I'm technically still on staycation, but it ends rather soon, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm really sad. I have to be back to work bright and early on Tuesday morning. So by the time you guys hear this, I'll probably be back at a desk crunching numbers. Blah. But so I decided while I was on staycation, I've been working on a lot of stuff, man. Still being productive, getting a lot of work done. Part of that work, we're gonna make some little slight adjustments to the show. Try to make things a little more concise, trim off some fat a little bit, make it a little easier for us to record. We can get in it. Yeah, we can get in here and get out of here quicker. You guys can get in and get out of here quicker. Hopefully, we won't keep you for 3+ hours. But still keep good content. So we trimmed some fat, added a couple new segments. So just to let you guys know how things will run, hopefully from here on out, as long as this runs smoothly.
I will laugh my ass off if this podcast goes 5 hours.
I was thinking that beforehand too. Like I do all this outline and it's like, oh no, still here for 3 hours and 30 minutes. But so basically how the show is gonna go, we'll come in, we'll do our intro spiel, blah 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 blah. We'll give you guys a rundown of what we'll be covering for the day. I introduced a new segment called What's on Your Mind, which is kind of something we've already been doing. I'm just making it an actual segment. But we'll do like a quick little warm-up banner of just, any non-MMA related topics we want to briefly just kind of brush over before we get started. And then, as always, we'll jump into news and notes. But for news and notes, we're going to keep things kind of trim. Like, sometimes there's too much to cover. So the Anticool will pick maybe 1 or 2 news stories. I'll pick 1 news story and maybe like a fight announcement, but I'm not running through. We're going to try not to run through the gauntlet anymore. We can't get to everything, man. Some weeks there's way too much to get to, and we'd be here forever. You'd be here forever. And we don't want that from any of us. So we're just going to pick the things that we really actually care to talk about. So that'll be how news and notes will be done. Then we'll have the dojo breakdown, which will be us just, breaking down the cards. We'll do a segment called the Prelim Spotlight, where instead of breaking down every single preliminary fight, we'll just pick one or two that, we think are worth your watch, maybe slightly go over them, and then we'll just kind of move on. And then we'll do upcoming cards, which we always do every episode, let you guys know what, fights and fisticuffs will be happening in the upcoming weeks. And then we will do the fight recommendation, which is a new segment. Well, we'll either recommend a fight, past or present, that you should watch, or if we don't have a specific fight picked out, we'll just recommend you a fighter that maybe you should keep an eye on, and then we'll close out the show. So, that being said, as far as the rundown, today we are going to cover UFC 244, Masvidal versus Diaz, talk a little bit of Canelo versus Kovalev, and then we'll briefly run through PFL, which had a card last week, and we'll also give a brief run through also of Invicta. What number was that? I can't remember what number that was.
I want to say it was 38.
There we go. Invicta FC 38. So those will be the fights and cards that we cover. But before we get to that, let's kick this off with the new segment, man. Anticool. What is on your mind this week?
I was gonna, because we both saw the movie this week. I was gonna talk about.
We can go ahead.
I was gonna talk about Parasite, but then I realized there are a bunch of people out there who haven't seen it yet. So
I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
I'm not spoiling it, but yeah, that's what I had on my mind.
All right. So if you have not seen, God, I can't not pronounce this man's name.
His name is Bong Joon-ho, the director.
Yes, Bong Joon-ho's movie Parasite. Please go see it. It's fucking amazing. I can't. If you've seen his other films like Snowpiercer, The Host, Okja, Okja, yeah. What was the other one? Memories of Murder. If you haven't seen, if you've seen his other films, this probably will come as less as a shock to you, but the movie balances tones really well.
Yeah.
Because halfway through, just about halfway through, it just takes a hard ass turn and goes into a incredibly weird place.
And just, I'm on IMDb. I'm just gonna read the little blurb, which really doesn't give you a lot to go off of, to be honest. But it just says, all unemployed. Kitek's family takes a peculiar interest in the wealthy and glamorous parts for their livelihood until they get entangled in an unexpected incident. And to be honest, that's as much as you can kind of say about this movie without really spoiling and getting into the nitty gritty. But
so when I didn't know about this movie until I guess Monday. Because my friend, he's an AMC A-list Stubs member, whatever the hell it's called, and he got us tickets to see some unnamed 2020 summer action movie. You know how sometimes they do the promotional stuff where they'll release a movie before it's done with production,
right.
They haven't even edited in all the CGI yet. But he forgot to sign us up, so we ended up seeing. He was like, "Oh, I want to see the Parasite." So we ended up seeing the Parasite the next day. And the way he pitched the film to me, I don't think he had an idea what the theme was. Well, he was like, "Oh, it's a film about somebody who invades these other people's lives and becomes leeches on them," which, you mentioned that they're unemployed, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Where these poor people are just gonna leech off of these richer people, and that's not really what it's about. Strangely enough, I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't.
It isn't.
I do like the phrasing that the title is Parasite, though.
Yeah.
Like you,
that,
can't.
It's very apt.
Yeah.
Like, oof. It's really good. Like,
I guess all I can really say is they list this in terms of genre as a comedy / drama / thriller, and it legit hits on all three of those points.
It should be known it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
And, like, you won't. I don't think you'll get that at first, but it is a dark comedy.
I definitely laughed in the first half of the movie.
Oh, dude, I laughed through the whole thing.
There was a lot of finessing. But like, there's a point in the movie where it takes a hard left turn, and then for me suddenly I was like, oh, this isn't funny anymore. It's getting real okay, I see where we're going. It's really hard to go into detail about this movie without really spoiling it, but
yeah, it is a recommendation. Go see it.
It's definitely recommend. Go watch it if it's in your local theater. If it ends up popping up on Netflix somewhere down the line, definitely give it a watch, man. That movie it was really, really good. So that's Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho. Oh, and if you haven't seen Snowpiercer, go watch Snowpiercer. Awesome movie.
I've not seen Snowpiercer.
So good.
I'm really bad at seeing movies.
The ending was kind of a little weird. I need to watch the end. I didn't really understand the ending, but the movie itself was amazing. It was really good. But yeah, so I guess we both had the same what's on your mind, because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Well, I was going to talk about HeboCon, but I can do that any week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll save that. Oh man, I meant to mention I went to it. It's so hard to come back this week because there's so much that's happened since the last time we recorded. I went to my first con a couple weeks ago. I spent a lot of money on comic books and I went broke, but it was a great time. But you know what? Show must go on. I'd be here all day talking about that. But real quick before we go to the news and notes, shout out to the listeners, man. Tumblr folk, Twitter folk, wherever you are in the world, East Coast, West Coast, we appreciate you. Share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Top listeners for the week: Canton, Georgia, number 1; Portland, Oregon, number 2; Mountain View, California, number 3; Hue, Vietnam, number 4; number 5, Bengaluru, India. Probably said that completely wrong, and they'll never come back. But I tried.
These people, like, did you just say Vietnam?
Yeah, I don't know how they. I don't know what link you clicked on to get here, but stick around. We definitely want you here. Don't leave. Maybe they listen to like a 1 card. That might have been them. I feel like that'd be a Vietnamese listen would check out a 1 card. I don't know, but wherever you are, man, we appreciate you. Share it with a coworker, friend, family member. Holidays coming up, you can just play it at the dinner table, and they'll probably kick you out, but that's fine. It's all about spreading the good word. So with that being said, move on to news and notes for the week. And like I said, moving forward, not really gonna run the gauntlet of news. Gonna pick things that we actually care to talk about, and fight announcements will be lumped into this as well. So I have 2 fight announcements and then 2 kind of quick FYIs in the news. Fight announcements that I'm pretty excited for that'll be upcoming soon. At UFC 245, Jeff Neal versus Mike Perry. Violence on violence, hands on hands. Definitely looking forward to that. And at UFC Washington, D.C., we'll have Rob Font versus Ricky Simone. Another fight probably will be hands on hands. 2 fights that I envision probably won't need to go the distance. There's some other fight announcements that I'm pretty sure I missed, but those are the 2 that really kind of stuck out to me that I thought would be really dope. And
not to derail you real quick, but was Aldo Moraes and Faber Jan announced while we were on break?
Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, those are going down at UFC 245 on the main card, so. Those are sad boy fights if you're a WEC fan.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me got hyped for Aldo Moraes until like I saw a picture of Aldo recently cutting at 135. I'm like,
And he looked like TJ trying to cut to 125.
He looks like his soul is just about to leave his body from this weight cut. It does not look good, man. It does not look good. But hey, man, I guess it is what it is. I'm just saying, should have went up a weight class. We could have tried this Pettis fight out. Maybe if he was at like a catch weight or something. I don't know, man. Going down to 35, probably not a good look. But it is what it is. As far as news, I just got two quick pieces of news. One that I didn't hear anybody mention until I just randomly came across it. I'm not sure how much I'll watch this, but I thought it was just worth a mention. That the Dana White Contender Series is going to Asia in 2020. That huge performance center institute that they have over there in Shanghai is going to be the host. So,
yeah, that was the plan all along.
Yeah, continuing that break into the Asian market, which is kind of interesting considering a lot of stuff been going on in China lately in other sports that ain't been so well.
I really like it won't happen because like for whatever reason MMA seems to only attract like gym rats, not gym rats, like yeah, gym rats, like people who like literally outside of fighting they don't really do much else, or if they do, they're like Kobe Covington.
Ew.
But I'm really waiting for someone to be like Free Taiwan or Free Hong Kong on like on Twitter and see what happens.
Dana White probably get him out of there.
It depends on who it is. Like, problem is, I don't think anybody with any type of cachet cares even a little bit.
Probably not. Probably not. But I just thought that was interesting to note because we've been talking about that for a while now on this podcast about the UFC, you know, trying to break into the Chinese market and
they finally have a champion.
Yeah. Yep, you got a champion. You got an institute over there. And now you got this Contender Series, which I'm pretty sure will turn out some talent. So, and I mean, it's in China. Like, bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
If you're in China, they're going to have a never-ending pool, probably, of fighters to pull from with all those people over there. So, just keep an eye out on that. And the last piece of news, something that made me smile yesterday. LFA, man, they're finally back. They have a broadcast deal. They'll be on UFC Fight Pass. This is pretty much effective immediately. So their last two cards of the year, which will be LFA 78 and 79, you will be able to watch on Fight Pass. To me, this made sense. Pretty much considering that most of the champs in LFA at some point end up getting the UFC call, albeit they give them the short notice setup. But they make it there regardless. It's almost kind of like a feeder league. And even if they don't go to the UFC, some of them might end up in Bellator, like Jason Jackson, who was on the last Bellator card, who had a really good fight against Ed Ruth that you guys should watch. But no, I thought this just made sense. And for Fight Pass, since it's kind of crazy, it's UFC Fight Pass, but like all the UFC stuff people really want to see is on ESPN Plus. But if you have Fight Pass, I think it's a really solid addition. LFA does turn out pretty consistently quality cards and pretty high volume, so if you have Fight Pass, I would definitely recommend giving LFA a look. So that's all I got for news. I don't know if you had any news you wanted to share.
Two things, both really, really sad. Walt Harris. Yes, Walt Harris will not be fighting Overeem in DC because real life got real scary. Walt Harris's stepdaughter, Aria Blanchard, is missing. She's been missing for a little over a week now. I want to say she went missing on the 24th of October. If you're in the Auburn area in Alabama, and you have any information, please contact the Auburn Police at 334-501-3140. I believe they found her car, but they did not find her.
Yeah,
it was damaged and everything. So, if you have any information, please reach out. You can also email Warhair directly at Anaya Blanchard at gmail.com. That's find ANIAH Blanchard BLANCHARD at gmail.com. So there's that, and of course other tragic news, because it's going to be combat sports without tragedy. Patrick Day, local dude actually. I want to say he's from Long Island, or Staten Island, one of the two. He's from New York. He passed away. When was this? This is the 18th.
And for listeners, if you don't know why we're talking about this now, we went on hiatus for 2 weeks, and this happened, I think, like the day after.
Yeah, our last episode came out.
Yep.
Patrick Day, 27, died Wednesday after suffering a traumatic brain injury Saturday night after being knocked out during a fight in Chicago. He was 27 years old. He was taken to the hospital that night in extremely critical condition after being knocked out by Charles Conwell in the 10th round of their USBA's for welterweight title fight. He was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital and underwent emergency surgery. He lapsed into a coma and never regained consciousness. Yeah, it's tragic. I believe this is the third boxer this year died in the United States.
Yeah. Rough, man. It's really, really.
It's
really, really rough, man. Gotta feel for the guy who, like, I gotta imagine if you're on the opposite end, like you were the guy who landed the KO blow. Like,
I mean, we'll talk about a guy later who killed another man in the ring, in Sergey Kovalev, and from what I read about Kovalev, it actually does still eat at him, like a lot. Which, if you know Kovalev, he kind of seems like the guy who could like pass it off as like, I was just doing my job, and it's a thing that happens, like,
right.
But like apparently, according to people close to him, it still eats at him.
I can imagine, man. Like obviously you kind of know the risk of course when you go in there, but you never really expect it to happen. It's kind of one of those things. It's like you know it's a possibility, but you probably think, it'll never be me. Like,
yeah, like how many sparring sessions and amateur fights and pro fights have you been through in your life where you're like, you know what, I got beat up, but I was still, able to get up on my own the next day and do whatever. But like, it really only takes one bad fall, man. Yeah. One bad punch, and the way Dave fell, it was like you just knew something was wrong almost instantly.
Rest in peace, Patrick Day, man. Yeah, that's a, oof, that's rough, man. Never that'll never be easy to watch or easy to hear about. Like, you really feel for, especially a guy so young, like that. Yeah, really, really unfortunate, man.
Thoughts and prayers for his family, to Conwell, who I can't imagine what he's mentally putting himself through right now. And we're probably going to be talking a little bit more about this later with the way that the main event for UFC 244 ended. And is yeah.
Well, it's news and notes for the week. All right, let's move on. Oh,
I was gonna say we no. I'll save it for the shots, because I mean, it's not funny, but it's like, come on.
Yeah. All right.
And I think So, and I can do a 2-4 this week. So.
All right. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on, man. Dojo breakdown. Talk about some fights. So, there were a lot of cards that happened between now and then. Last time we recorded them now. I forgot to even mention, we saw Weidman get baptized. Askren didn't make it. I would elaborate on those, but you know what? Another time for another day.
I mean, you basically went through it already.
Yeah.
Ben Askren got out kickboxed.
I told y'all K1 Maya wasn't out here playing games.
Like, I've been saying this forever. Maya's kickboxing isn't pretty, but it's effective. It's not bad. He's just old.
I told y'all. You know what, man? I gotta write a note. I might save him for what's on your mind next week. Have a little Ben Askren discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, but let's get into some fights, man. So I'm gonna kick this off with PFL number 9. I'm literally just gonna read the results because I actually did watch this card, but I'm be honest with y'all. It was heavyweights and light heavyweights, 2 divisions that I'm just kind of on, especially outside of the UFC, even inside of the UFC. You know, not the best or the most entertaining of fights.
So you're saying you don't want to see Jared Rosholt become $1 million prize fighter?
I don't, but it's probably gonna happen. So, speaking of your finals, the gentleman who will be moving on to compete at, I don't know, is it a New Year's event? I don't remember when it's happening.
It's happening on New Year's Eve in New York because, you know what, I'm going to try to go this year. Fuck it. I'm just going to stand outside of Madison Square Garden and ask somebody for like a ticket voucher or something.
You watch Jared Rosholt just lay on somebody.
Oh, hell yeah.
And get the $1 million bag.
That's how I want to ring in my New Year, watching Jared Rosholt.
God, man. Like, every time he took Tiller down, I was just like, ugh. Like, somebody get this guy. You know what, man? And I don't really know him. I don't pay attention to him outside of fight. He's probably like the nicest dude. But it's like, Jesus Christ, he is not fun to watch. And in any sense of the word. I
will say Ali is Laev, the other dude in the final. He has his moments. He's not decent. Yeah, dude's out here hitting jump spinning back kicks and knocking people out with them, so like he has to be.
Won't work if he's on his back. But
yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the finals for the PFL heavyweight tournament is Ali Asaya versus Jared Rosholt. And then for the 205 finals, former UFC prospect at one point, Jordan Johnson, he'll be in the finals against Emiliano Sordi.
Wait, I just remembered something. Ali's a former Olympic wrestler.
Really?
Yes.
All right, Ali, man. So you got one job, bro. Yeah, you got one job, bro. You gotta get this man out of here. But those are your finals for the for PFL. And also, man, shout out to Kelvin Tiller. It's always a rough night when you lose your first fight. He lost to Asayev earlier in the night, and then I want to say somebody else had gotten injured and couldn't continue. So he was able to come back up. And they gave him a second chance against Rosholt, but
did he retire in between fights? Like what's his name did?
No, I don't think he did. That would suck.
That would suck.
That's the worst. Shout out to Chris Curtis, man. They did that man wrong. That is how you retire and they're like, nah, bro. You got they just throw you the gloves again, like, nah, you gotta get back in there. It's like, man, I just took so much time crafting this speech. Man. But just a quick run through the card. Yeah, Ali Asayev defeated Denis Goltsov via KO. Jared Rosholt defeated Kelvin Tiller via unanimous decision. Emiliano Sordi defeated Bozgeet Atayev via rear naked choke. And Jordan Johnson defeated Rashid Yusupov via unanimous decision. Also on the card, you have Francimar Barroso defeating Alex Nicholson via unanimous decision. There was a Satoshi Ishii sighting, but he lost to Denis Goltsov in like that first round. Who else was on this card? I mean, that was pretty much all the fights probably worth mentioning. Like I said, I watched this card, but it was a while ago. I kind of don't remember it, and it's 205 is a heavy. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay, we're back. Sorry guys, technology does a weird thing sometimes.
My internet literally just decided want to take a 15-minute break.
Yeah,
It wanted to go smoke.
Yeah, he had to go to a little smoke box outside. But it's good. We're back. So that was PFL. Moving on. I'll let you cover the Invicta card, which was awesome, but I don't remember it. But I just remember there were a lot of good fights, a lot of good times.
Okay, so we had Invicta FC 38. It was supposed to be a card, 7-fight card, headlined by 2 title fights, but Karina Rodriguez came in 1.1 pounds overweight, for her title shot. So not a good look, but it was still a fun card top to bottom. Started from the top, we had Kaneko Murata versus Emily Ducote. For the strawweight title, the vacant strawweight title, I believe, because what's her face got signed to the UFC, Brianna Van Buren. Murata ended up taking a split decision in a fight that was primarily her taking Ducote down and then Ducote fighting for arm bars from inside off her back. We had Vanessa Porto, who went ahead with the fight in the co-main event. Play was a 3-rounder, take a unanimous decision win over Karina Rodriguez, and a really good fight. If there's one fight off this card you should watch, it should be that one. Mallory Martin took a wide decision over Cynthia Arceo. I want to say one of the cards was like 30-24. Yeah, no, it was not a good night for Arceo. Shanna Young, the Shanimal, she took a decision over Maiju Suitama. Suitama actually got out in front in the first round, got Young down, but tired herself out apparently, and then proceeded to get her ass beat over the last 2 rounds in the fight. Lisa Verzosa took a decision over Carrie Kennison in a fight that I don't really remember. Autumn Norden took a decision over the returning Yaya Rincon. This was actually a really good one. Norton was 0-1 heading into this fight, so I didn't give her much of a not much of a shot, but like I wasn't really looking for her like that, and she came out and she put a whooping on Rincon. And then the last fight on the card, we had Tanisha Tennant versus Serena De Jesus, and Tennant took a decision, unanimous. It was a pretty fun opening scrap. They were throwing down. So yeah, that was Invicta. Don't let the decisions fool you. It was actually a really good card with a lot of competitive fights. Like the only one that wasn't competitive was Norton Rincon and Martin Arceo. Yeah. And those were fun in their own ways.
And I would say even though a lot of the fights went to decision, pretty much in every fight somebody got dropped. Like,
yeah, basically.
That was my takeaway from the little bit I remember of that card. Like in every fight, somebody caught some hands and got put down and had to claw their way back in the fight.
Tennant dropped De Jesus. Norton, I don't know if she dropped Rincon, but she had Rincon on like skates multiple times and just like going Brock Lesnar mode where like Cain Velasquez tagged him and Brock shot for a takedown and it got like missed and proceeded to just spin around the cage like a wild man. A little bit of that. Yeah, it was a fun card. I'm happy Murata is now the Invicta strawweight champion. The UFC can't snatch her from Invicta because she's signed to Ryzen, so that's funny. So there's not gonna be another Brianna Van Buren situation where they just snatch the champion and Invicta doesn't have a champ anymore until somebody beats her. And Vanessa, I wouldn't be mad if they ran back Vanessa Porto, Karina Rodriguez, because that was a really fun fight. Rodriguez showed some damaging like striking from distance, but like Porto did a good job with like her hooks to her big swinging hooks to like fence wrestling and takedown. So that was neat. It was a fun card.
Just sucks because as good as her performance was, like man, you had to miss weight.
You had to miss weight. Like, if this fight had 2 more rounds, you might have won. If, like, I wouldn't be mad if they decided to just run back a rematch just for the sake of it. But, yeah, I don't think that's how, what's her face? Shannon Knapp wants to run her organization, so.
No,
It wouldn't surprise me.
she's actually not really now that you say that. Not really a lot of like trilogies and stuff in Invicta.
Well, that's because nowadays, if you have like 1 or 2 title defenses, like you're getting called on short notice to go to the UFC. So
That is true. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, they got Brianna out of there quick.
Mhm.
they snatched Brianna up, no questions asked. That is true. They probably don't even have time to do trilogies.
yeah, like I'm sure Knapp would love to have these women around for like 3 or 4 or 5 years, but like that's just not realistic. The UFC schedule is what it is, and that means everybody in the regional scene has to be prepared for a phone call whenever the UFC feels fit.
Yep. Like, hey, you want to fight on Tuesday? I know it's a Monday night.
Hey, I mean, they've done it before.
Yeah, man, you gotta be ready. You came home from that training session Monday night, and by Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you're on a prelim somewhere in Thackerville.
This is not, but UFC ain't going to Bellator country. There are some hardcore Bellator fans in Thackerville.
They are.
The Windstar Resort and Casino can only handle so much.
Shout out to Thackerville. Oh man, the pinnacle of MMA cities. They're better than New York.
The Mecca, the real Mecca.
Yeah, the underground Mecca. Yeah, man, they're better than New York. They have a better. I hate New York right now. Y'all are on some. We'll get to y'all later, man. MMA should have never became legal there. It was a sign. Like all the fights and like loopholes and things they had to try to jump through to make MMA legal in New York. They should have just. Out, man.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be more lenient on New York, but like, yeah,
y'all are trash. I'm not gonna be lenient on New York. Y'all are trash.
But like, New York got sued for like $22 million right before MMA became legal because of the because of Magomed Abdusalamov situation with Mike Perez. Do you remember that?
Nah.
The dude who went to war. It was a heavyweight fight between 2 heavyweight prospects, and the dude went to war, and he is now in a wheelchair, like a motorized wheelchair, and he can't move his body. And he sued the state of New York for like $22 million and won. So that as much as anything else probably has to do with all the funkiness that goes on in New York. Not to mention, a New York fighter died earlier this week. Mind you, it was in Chicago, but still, like the New York Athletic Commission knows who Patrick Day is my point.
We'll get to New York later. I ain't mean to go on that tirade. We'll get to y'all later. Y'all got it coming. But before we get to that, man, let's talk some boxing. Big fight went down last night. If you were a boxing fan, you were forced to wait. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know how long it was. Like they had to wait until the end of Masvidal Diaz before they started the fight in the arena. From what I heard from who was posting on Twitter, I think it was Andreas Hill, was posting that like people were just getting drunk watching the Diaz Masvidal fight, and meanwhile in the back you see pictures of Kovalev and Alvarez just laying down like taking naps.
Kovalev was straight up knocked the fuck out. Not even an hour before the fight started. That might explain his performance.
Right, like he was in a full blown like, yeah, bro, my lights are out. Like it's he looked like he just had the itis. Like that was the nap he was taking. Then he took another nap at the end, but we'll get to that. But Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Kovalev went down last night for the WBO light heavyweight title. To give context of this fight, this happened really late, and I watched like the first 6 rounds paying attention, and then I started to doze off, and then the last thing I remember seeing was Holyfield in the crowd when the camera panned to him, and then I woke up and the fight was over.
He was also asleep.
Yeah. Like, I guess me and Kovalev went to sleep. We both took a nap. Mine was probably a lot more pleasant though. But as far as the fight, because I did wake up and pretty much like picked up where I left off yesterday.
The fight was boring.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
It was boring, but the finish was neat, and that's where we are.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it wasn't like the most. It was one of those fights that was like, all right, this is cool, but like, there's no like here. Like, this doesn't. It's supposed to be a big fight, but it doesn't feel like it's a big.
So like, this is something like I've felt with like Canelo's fights outside of like the Cotto and the Golovkin fights. Like his entire style is like defense based, and as a result, like, oops, thanks, Stokes. Like a lot of his style involves nullifying his opponent's offense, and like he's a guy who takes rounds off, so it kind of feels like the energy that you would have for like a big fight, like it kind of feels like it's sucked out, because like Canelo's not like Mayweather where he's like the heel that everybody wants to see him get knocked out, though I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't like Canelo. As a matter of fact, there are plenty of people who were complaining last night about Canelo delaying this fight, even though I don't think it was his decision. He seemed really angry about it, actually, if you saw him pacing in the back. But, where was I going with this? Yeah, no, like his entire thing is about slowing down the fight. Like, maybe not in like the way where like I don't know, like a Lyoto Machida, but in a way that where he controls the pace, and he like Canelo's not gonna push like a rabid pace. He's not Earl Spence. Like, dude's gonna take his time and pick you apart. So like I think that contributes to it a lot. Like I felt that way like against when he was fighting Jacobs, and it was really on display here as he casually marched forward for like 10 rounds without, well, basically pitter-pattering Kovalev.
Yeah, I spent a lot of this fight waiting for like a moment, and it was sad because I fell asleep and missed the moment in real time. I had to catch the replay. But like, yeah, like a lot of this fight, it was pretty much the same almost every round. Like, Kovalev had a pretty consistent jab, jab, combination here and there. Canelo kind of just waiting for counters to land his power shots. And it was just kind of a lot of that, like touch, combination, jab, combination, power shot counter, touch from Kovalev, power shot counter. But it was like, it wasn't. I was waiting for some oomph. Like, there was just nothing.
Well, like, I had Kovalev ahead at the knockout. Like, at one point, I think I had it, like, 6-3. But, like, he never looked comfortable. Like, he is used to, not dictating pace, but, like, he is used to being able to just play at his feet and throw that jab and get people to respect him. And because of Canelo's guard and ability to slip punches and counter with, like, I think that's what it was. Like, early in the fight, Canelo did tag him with a really hard shot to the body. And he would continue to pepper him from there, but like I think Kovalev was afraid to plant his feet in fear of Canelo throwing something wicked to the body. And that actually ended up paying off for Canelo because friggin' like the stoppage was caused because Kovalev was guarding to the body and ended up getting drilled in the side of the head by a hook. That's the punch that wobbled him.
Yeah, so yeah, Kovalev really throughout the entire fight, and I'm pretty sure they even mentioned this on commentary. Like, I was waiting for him to like just showcase a little bit of power, because I know he's got it, but he never really stood like really firm and just planted his feet and just like threw. And if he did, he got countered with, you know, Canelo was landing the shots that had like the thud on him, like.
Dude, like those body shots.
Yeah, he was landing those like, and I guess not Canelo. I guess Kovalev probably figured, well, I'm doing good with just kind of, I can pepper him up with my jab, get some combinations, get in, get out. But if I stand and just try to plant and throw, I might land a shot, but then he might land one. And if he lands one, you know.
Yeah, like I think also like the speed difference in terms of like Canelo was making him miss whenever like I'm watching like a clip right now, and Kovalev threw the jab, follows up with a swinging right hook. Canelo is literally nowhere to be seen on this hook from Kovalev. Like he is like a solid like 6 to 8 inches away from the punch, and then Kovalev continues trying to come forward, and Canelo winds up like full on baseball pitcher winds up and hits him with an uppercut to the body, and you could like body shots are the thing called like Andre Ward showed that Kovalev is just like really susceptible to body shots in both their fights, and it was on full display here because it really looked like Kovalev just did not want anything to do with the body shots from Canelo.
And probably at, forgot how old Kovalev's, what, like 36,
37?
36, 37? Yeah. Probably those body shots got a little extra sting when you're a little older.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But boy, that knockout. Yeek. Yikes.
It's like I guess it just goes to show you don't need a lot of when you're pressuring, you don't need a lot of volume. You just need to make the dude miss and just hit him where it hurts. Because God, I'm saying like Canelo did not do much in this fight, but when he chose to like throw punches to the body, like it works. It worked because friggin' it shut Kovalev down from planting his feet and trying to throw anything hard.
Boy, that first left hook right before the finish, like just the way Kovalev just kind of stepped back, and it was like his body was slowly leaving him.
Dude,
like oh, he's about to take the plunge.
That body, that left hook that Canelo lands, that looks like it's like he drops levels to make it look like it's going to be a body shot, and then comes right around the guard with it. That's some slick ass shit, man. Like, and then oh god, the using his, like because right before that, he hits him with a left hook right hook combination. Kovalev tries to after the left hook, Kovalev tries to close distance. Canelo uses that arm to brace against his neck, push off, and then follow it up with that right hook. That dude is really good.
And it was one of those combinations that like I knew it was over when that first hook landed. When your feet do the little like the I don't even know what to call it. When you get the happy feet,
yeah.
When you get happy feet, it's over. You're out of there. And then he followed up, I think, with a right, and then put his face between the ropes, and you just kind of knew the way he felt. Like, yeah, he's not getting back up. He's not getting back up at all. And it's kind of wild. Like the fight, like you said, it wasn't a whole lot going on. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but a lot of times, regardless of the combat sport, it's capitalizing on moments. Like it just takes one little split second, one thing to go right, and that can be the difference.
It's true. Like Canelo just knocked out a man 2 weight classes above him. Granted, I think Canelo is probably a big middleweight, but still.
It says a lot that he moved up 2 weight classes to fight the bigger guy, but it seemed like every time they exchanged, Canelo's punches were the ones that you kind of winced at. Like, ooh, like that was, his were the ones that kind of had the sting. As for Kovalev, it was just kind of like, all right, you're tagging him, but it's not like, at no point do I think you're going to knock him out or even like stun him. Like you're just kind of peppering him up here and there. And then I thought right after the fight, like, man, Floyd schooled this guy.
It's worth noting Canelo was like 22 years old when that fight happened.
That is true. It was a younger Canelo, but still.
Put up for me. He's 29 now. That fight happened in when? 2013, so that's like 6 years ago.
Nah. So he was definitely a younger Canelo.
Yeah. Like he in theory should be in his physical prime right now.
Right.
But yeah, no, great win for Canelo. Like, dude should be on the top of everybody's pound for pound list, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I can't remember who posted it, but I saw an article afterwards that was saying it might be time to start having talks about Canelo, not just as like one of the greatest fighters currently, but like where does he stack? Is he on an all-time list, and if so, like where we like that conversation maybe might start needing to be had. That conversation might have to happen. Not saying he's the GOAT, but like maybe he's in a conversation somewhere. You got to throw him on a list or something like that. I saw an article. Yeah. But great, amazing finish from Canelo, and what wasn't a great fight at least ended with, it ended with a bang. And after staying up to like 1:30, I guess that's all you can ask for, even though I fell asleep. I had to watch it the next morning. But great performance from Canelo. Did you want to talk about any of the undercard fights real quick before we move on?
Cindy Estrada versus Marlon Esparza. The fight was basically Estrada bullying the smaller Esparza around for like most of the fight. But the real interesting shit was fucking Marlon Esparza in like the 3rd or 4th round getting a cut on her forehead. And over the course of the fight, the cut got worse and worse to the point where you could actually see Marlon Esparza's skull through the cut. And they let her keep fighting until like the 9th or 10th round. So yeah, that was fun. But since Estrada won, improved to 18-0.
I could imagine if my corner told me my skull was showing, I'd probably walk myself up. Like,
it's just skull.
I don't know, man.
In theory, it's the hardest part of your body, so that's fine if it's exposed.
I ain't with it. But hey, that's why they're in there, and I'm home. I'm not about that life. I get squeamish over stuff like that. If I see my skull, like I feel like if my skull's showing, I'm gonna have to tell my corner, like, don't tell me, don't let me know that my skull is showing, because if you tell me, then I'm gonna panic. Just let me be ignorant. Don't let me know that half my head is out here for the world to see. But real quick before we move on, since you did watch it, well, shout out to Evander Holyfield's son. I didn't see it, but apparently he won his debut also.
He bullied some poor dude they pulled out of the audience.
That's terrible. They gave him one of those. They gave him the Walmart manager. Oh, that's messed up. But hey, man, that guy knew what he was signing up for. But what did you think of this Ryan Garcia KO?
And I get what people are like, he took a dive, but that just looks like how you react when you get hit in the back of the head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for people who don't know, Ryan Garcia versus Romero Duno was also on the card. And I just saw people. I didn't see the fight. I just saw a GIF highlight pretty much. But people were questioning the validity of the knockout, saying that they thought Romero took a dive. And I'll say that if Romero took a dive, it was very well choreographed because the way he fell, that looked really real. Like, I've seen some fights where I thought people took a dive. They didn't look that convincing. So I'm going to assume that left hook that Garcia threw definitely probably clipped him on the way down. But nah, either way, Garcia got him out of there, so it don't matter. Dive or not, first round TKO happened, so you just got to deal with it.
Yeah, so we mentioned it briefly when we talked about Canelo, Canelo and Kovalev, but I can't get past the fact that DAZN was like, you know what? We're gonna fucking let Masvidal versus Nate Diaz happen and then start our fight. And then me and you sat up at 1:15 at night to watch this fight.
Bro, when I tell you, by the time they were doing the entrances, my eyes were like, I was tired. Like,
dude, like the fucked up thing is they didn't even start the national anthems until after the fight started. So you had another 15, 20 minutes of them just walking out to the damn ring.
Right. Yeah, that was
And the word, I feel bad for Canelo and Kovalev because they were literally like laced up and ready to go at like 11:30 Eastern time.
And DAZN was like, nah.
Y'all going on at what? Chill.
And like we said, Kovalev was back there taking the Netflix and chill nap. Like, he was.
And they were airing the fucking Masvidal and Diaz fight live for the audience so that they wouldn't riot.
And I mean, I want to say, like, I guess that's cool for the people in the audience, but at the same time, it's like, if you paid for this ticket to see Canelo and Kovalev, or probably a lot of people probably wanted to see Ryan Garcia too, I'd imagine. Either way, like, you made a firm decision on what event meant more to you that night. So, yeah, that just didn't. that's wild. That is crazy. Yeah, DAZN had us up to way past the.
Apparently, it freaking worked because after the Masvidal Diaz fight, according to Mike Coppinger of The Athletic, DAZN reported that their demand for their subscription numbers went way up. Though that could easily just be, we were right with our decision. Fuck you guys. Not so much based in fact.
Right. Yeah, that's. And you got to think, like, you spend all this time, like, you're warming up in the back, you're getting loose, like, you're feeling good, and then they're like, oh, yeah, nah, 2 more hours. And it's like, bruh, you just, all my momentum, like, the little high that I had going, you just completely just, yeah. Combat sports, man, the gift that just keeps on, it just keeps on keeping on. it just keeps on keeping on. But, man, speaking of, let's move on. Main event of the evening, UFC 244, Masvidal versus Diaz for the BMF title.
Real title.
Yeah. Had The Rock come out. It was a whole situation, it was an event. It was definitely an event. And I'll say, before we even get to the fights, I'll just say overall, man, this was fun. It really sucks the way this ended because I was on such a high pretty much watching this entire card, and then it's like you were watching like a really great Netflix show, and then the last episode they just kind of like, I never watched The Sopranos, but I remember people saying like the ending they just kind of cut to black. This is what that felt like. Like you gave me this great product 99.9% of the way through, and then you completely botched the landing. Like you just couldn't stick the landing.
Again, I think this is the state of New York just covering their own ass. Which is all the more reason they should have the rematch in Vegas. Though Dana White's come out and said that they're not doing a rematch. Though I think he also said they weren't going to do the fucking fight in the first place. So who knows? But yeah, no. It does kind of feel weird because the fight was just about to get interesting, or it looked like it was about to get interesting because it seemed like Masvidal was maybe not tired, but slowing down a bit. And Nate can fight hard for 5 rounds even if he's tired. Like I think so maybe it's because we've seen him fight so much at like 155. But I think the one thing Masvidal doesn't get enough credit for is that he is really freaking athletic. And Nate Diaz, well, he has like marathoner athleticism. He does not have like 0 to 100 in 3 seconds athleticism like Masvidal does.
Yeah, he's a slow burn.
Yeah.
he's a very slow burn.
Yeah, so watching Masvidal just get off anything he wants in the first 2 rounds of that fight, including just kicking the shit out of Nate Diaz's body and getting him to fold over in pain and go to his butt. That seemed right. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, of course this is the way the fight plays out.
The body kicks, and Masvidal did one of my favorite things that I love seeing fighters do is punish people in the clinch. Like, anytime they clinch and they were about to break off, he's throwing an elbow. Like a hard, like, I'm putting everything into this elbow. Like, and it worked pretty much every time he did it. And I think that was what started off in the first round, the first instant where Nate ended up getting dropped. He caught him with an elbow, he flurried him, and then Nate kind of like folded over, and then Masvidal caught him with that head kick. And my God, like, I was worried. I was like, please don't let this be over already. Like, don't let this end like this. But Masvidal was on one, man. He looked really sharp. Just, you saw how good his boxing was. Hands just really fast and crisp. He hits really hard. Like I said, the elbows from the clinch were working. Like you mentioned, those body kicks were just deadly every time he threw them. But God, it sucks we did not get round 4 and 5. Because it felt like, as much as Nate was getting tagged, I felt like the momentum was kind of it wasn't switching because Masvidal was definitely winning. But it did seem like to me in that third round, Nate's combinations were starting to land a bit more. And even though he was getting tagged, you saw him starting to let loose his combinations a little bit. And I'm like, all right, it's about to happen. Like, round 4 is going to get here, and then we going to have a fight. Like, we really going to see how that fourth round, I think, would have told a lot had that fight kept going as to whether Nate would have been able to claw his way back in. But I got to give Masvidal credit because he busted Nate up, man. Nate had a cut above the eye. He had one below on the cheek. He's eating body shots. He's talking to Nate during the fight. Shout out to Nate, though, man. The Stockton slap from the bottom is that's a G move right there. I respect that. I respect it.
I respect Nate's just blind confidence in the face of the fact that he's just getting his ass beat.
But you gotta like.
My favorite thing, no. Matter of fact, my favorite thing about the Diaz brothers is like they always are like, I have no excuse, but then they'll come up with an excuse. So Nate said, yo, I had something wrong with my leg, so I couldn't really run for this fight, so I couldn't really get started until like round 4. After the fight gets stopped after round 3, is just Pete Diaz, and I fucking love it.
Hey man, I believe him. I believe him.
It was just doing Yoel Romero, like just like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till the 3rd round to start fighting.
Yeah. It's wild to see though. Like you saw when they were exchanging, just like Nate's a good volume boxer, but in terms of like just like technique and athleticism, Masvidal was about 1, 2, 3 steps ahead, and it was beautiful to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Masvidal has really been. It's as somebody who's been watching Masvidal for a while now. Like Masvidal is like he's a super like OG. Like. He's been around this game for a long time. He's fought a lot of great fighters. Like back in the Strikeforce days, even predating Strikeforce. Like
this dude fought Rafael Assunção in Alaska.
Right. Like Masvidal, man, just go look at Masvidal's record, man. He has been out here. Like he's really been out here for a long time, man. So it's pretty dope to see him finally kind of like hit his stride. That's crazy. Like you look at his record, man. I forgot he did fight in Bellator. Man, with Rodrigo Dam, Toby Amada, Luis Palomino, KJ Nunes, Gilbert Melendez, Tim Means, Kabalov, Michael Chiesa, Pat Healy, James Krause, Cesar Ferrer. He's fought just a lot of Bendo, Lorenzo Larkin. Like this man's been out here for a long time, man. Just it's finally like it seems like it's all kind of like coming together.
The funniest fucking part of this whole entire card was the pre-tape thing, the documentary style stuff they were doing between fights. Where Jorge Masvidal was like, damn, like he was like, I was losing all these split decisions, and like I had to sit down and reevaluate my career, and was like, damn, I should just start finishing people, and then they just started working.
Hey man, hey. And I mean, like, and I've said that before, some of his past performances, like, there are other fights where he's lost, where he probably should have won. Like, he'll start off really great, and then he'll just kind of coast. And he'll make fights closer than probably what they should be. But lately, he's been like, nah, we not doing that no more. Like, if I'm going to get you out of here, I'm going to get you out of here.
I will, yeah, so I got to be a little... I have to be not sensitive, but I have to use the right words when I approach this topic. How much of that is just him fighting dudes who are just willing to get punched in the face? Like, don't get me wrong, dude hits like a fucking truck at 170, but like, Nate Diaz is a dude who historically will let you punch him in the face.
Right.
Ben Askren is a walking punching bag. Like, I guess Darren
he's
Till,
a little whack-a-mole arcade game. Like,
and Darren Till, like, don't get me wrong, very good fighter, but like he also only had like one trick at 170, and we'll get to him at like middleweight, but at 170 he was basically just a forward-moving left hand, and it's not like it didn't work. He hit Masvidal. It just Masvidal got back up because Till really doesn't have any of the skills, or didn't, I guess. But like, he got straight up played by Stephen Thompson. The threat of Maya taking him down was enough to like nullify him in that fight, like with his pressure. And like, I guess you could say Cowboy, but like even Cowboy is like, if you can get Cowboy to have a boxing match instead of a kickboxing match, he's pretty hittable. So like, I'm curious, you know?
yeah. But
don't get me wrong, I'm loving the results here.
Either way, man, they're lining him up. He's knocking him down.
Yeah.
Nah, man, yeah, he's good, man. He's really good. And as far as the stoppage, man, like, I try to be fair about things like this. I try to see both sides. And I'll say in minor defense of the stoppage, when I rewatched the fight this morning, I didn't realize how deep the cut was. The one that was above his eye.
Yeah.
Unless that was like a Photoshop picture I saw.
Man, that's all scar tissue, man.
Yeah. It was a deep cut. And then you couple that with
he was getting, like, those first 2 rounds were 10-8 rounds.
Yeah, he was getting blasted. Albeit he had small minor moments. It wasn't like he wasn't trying to fight back. He was getting blasted. So like I get it. A little bit, I get it. But also on the same token, considering the nature of the cut, I thought his cutman did a pretty halfway decent job of like patching it up between rounds. And it wasn't, he was getting beat up, but it wasn't to the point where it's like, okay, he's not gonna, like, there's nothing else. Like I said, in that third round, I saw minor glimpses, like, all right, combinations are starting to come together a little more. And if you know Nate Diaz, it's like he can keep this pace for 5 rounds. Masvidal, we gotta see if he can keep this up. So it's like, if you know the history of the fighter, it's kind of like, come on, man. Like, it would have been different if they would have stopped it after, like, he ate like a vicious combination and he was like leaking all over the place.
Right.
But it's like you went through the whole motion of like, all right, we end the round, we clean up the cut, we at the top of the 4th round, everybody's ready to go, let's do it, and then you stop it. And it's like, come on, man. Like, every time we come to New York, y'all gotta do something. Y'all gotta do something extra. And it's like, why do we bring MMA here again? Like, we should have left y'all alone. Like, we really should have just. It really was a sign, man. All the hard fights and battles they had to go through to get MMA legalized in New York, that was a sign that we just shouldn't have been there. That should have just been the one state that we just like, you know what? Y'all cool and all. We love Madison Square Garden, but we just gonna have to. I don't know, man. It just really sucks because it was an awesome performance from Masvidal, and as you saw, like, he didn't want to win like that. Nobody wants to see a It made the BMF thing just kind of like.
Of course, this is how the BMF title
Right.
is won.
Like, come on, man. Y'all are just New York, man.
New York.
All right, chill out.
No. Keep going.
Like, what are y'all doing out there, man? Like, God. I mean, there's some bad athletic commits. Texas be wilding too sometimes. I think it's Texas. It was Texas. I feel like they're the other one that's kind of like.
Well, Texas is the complete opposite. They'll fucking let you fight with like a heart, like palpitations or whatever.
Right. It's like between them two, it's like, come on, man, y'all are. Every time we come here, it's like y'all just. You know what? It almost feels like, and I'll move on real quick to beat on this for a little bit, but it almost feels like New York has to do something extra every time, like, a card is held there. And it was almost like the night was going too good, and they were like, yo, we haven't made our presence known yet. We gotta, like, it's gotta be about us. And then at the last minute, like, this what we get. But.
Yep.
Either way, Masvidal won via TKO, via doctor stoppage. Who knows if we'll get a rematch. But great performance from Masvidal. Great heart from Diaz. Really wanted to see the 4th and 5th round, but maybe on another card. Maybe another card in another state. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But congrats to Masvidal, man. Amazing performance. Dude has just really been out here just handling business, man. Really handling business. And it would be dope to see him in a title shot. I would enjoy seeing Masvidal get a title shot in 2020. I'm all for it. But that was the main event. it is what it is, I guess. Co-main event. Darren Till versus Kelvin Gastelum. Darren Till finally moving up to middleweight, facing Kelvin Gastelum. Man, did my predictions for this fight could not have been more wrong.
Yeah, we both got, I think a lot of people got it wrong, but there were some things we just couldn't account for, I guess.
Things we couldn't, yeah, on both sides. I didn't, like, you never know kind of when a fighter's moving up, probably to the weight class that we all feel they probably should have been at to begin with.
Right.
You can't account for, like, all right, how bad was this weight cut really, and how much did it really affect them? So you kind of can't account for that because you kind of don't know until you see it. Can't account for
Darren Till learning to throw leg kicks.
Darren Till throwing leg kicks. Darren Till using
the clinch.
Yeah, clinching, using foot movement to just kind of circle around and get out the way. And Gastelum not really being able to handle the physicality in terms of going for takedowns. Like, he landed like 2 late in the fight, but by the end it didn't really matter anymore. Yeah, this was not this was not what I envisioned happening at all. Like, Gastelum could not pressure really as much as I thought he would be able to. I don't think there was ever really a point, like, I feel like there's a point in every Gastelum fight where he lands like a vicious 3-piece and he either knocks you out or he's able to like turn the tide of the fight. And that like never happened this entire fight. He was never really able to stand and plant for like more than 2 punches at a time. And anytime they got close to each other and you thought like Gastelum had a chance to let loose, Till would either just, footwork, let me just circle around and reset, or he would just kind of like duck his head and lean into Gastelum so they could clinch, and then they clinch, and then they reset again. And like Gastelum just kind of never, between that, eating leg kicks, Darren Till just kind of being able to box from a distance and then chew Gastelum's leg up, Gastelum never could get anything going, like the entire fight. And it was just kind of like, ugh. I felt some kind of way after that was over. Like, I was really looking forward to seeing this fight, and it's like, oh man, that's all I got. Like, come on, Kelvin. Like, that was it. That was, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a good fight for Till. Like, it was just what he needed after being stopped in like his previous 2 fights and then moving up a weight class. Like, he showed that he has the physicality for the division. He showed that he can develop and go to other things besides pressure, throw the left hand. So I just looked through his record, and I don't think I've ever seen Gastelum fight another southpaw.
Yeah, they mentioned that during the commentary too. Yeah, I don't think he has.
So I think that played a large part in it, because I think Gastelum's just used to being able to like throw that left hand and just something will be there just because, southpaw versus orthodox matchup.
All right.
So having Till circle away from Gastelum's power hand for the entirety of the fight probably really just threw him the fuck off. So there's a bunch of different factors, but this is a big win for Till. Like, he just beat the number 4 dude at middleweight,
and he looked good.
And
he looked pretty solid.
Yeah. I don't. I was about to say I don't know if that works against like the guys above him, but like,
yeah, that was gonna be my next point. As good as he looked, and I was just happy to see him have some kind of volume, because we've seen other fights where it's just like you spend a lot of time just waiting for Till to just do something.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do anything. But like he was semi-active this fight. A lot of leg kicks. He was throwing some decent combinations.
This was the most like he's won decisions before, but this is most like a I can win a decision fight I've seen from Till, where it's like, okay, there's like a method. He's not just landing repeatedly and like not trying to get the finish. He's actually like scoring,
Right.
and doing things not intelligently, but like he's building towards a decision win as opposed to just falling into one because he can't stop his opponent.
And it was a well-rounded performance. Like you saw leg kicks, you saw clinch work. He gave you more than I think we've just seen in some of his other outings, which was good to see. But yeah, I was thinking after the fight, like, could I see this performance working against like Acosta or like just anybody else who wouldn't struggle as much with his physicality or like his range? Could I see this performance getting him more victories? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty good.
Mm.
I'm not gonna discount him. He's still pretty good. And if you come in and you beat the number 4 guy, like, you kind of gotta respect it. Like, I can't really.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from him. But I'm starting to. I see why his team wanted Gastelum so badly as their first fight at 185. Because if that's the game plan they were gonna employ, it was perfect for Gastelum.
Not since he's beat the number 4 guy. Obviously, you can't. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't backtrack, but like, who do you think would be a good next up for him?
Depends on what they're doing for Adesanya, because it sounds like they're just gonna run back the Whitaker fight. Costa's out till April, so Cannonier, I guess. Because really the only one left. It also depends on how quickly they as in Till's team, want to like get him back out there. Not like, or back up there, I should say. Not in terms of like, oh, how quick is his turnaround, but like, okay, do we want to like try to continue to build his confidence, or are we just gonna go balls to the wall? But yeah, like Cannoniers or Yoel Romero, because they're the only 2 people in the top 5 that are not have no claims at like a title shot, or are not probably in the running for a title shot right now.
I like the Cannonier fight because I feel like if you beat the number 4 guy, at that point you're pretty much just kind of in with the Wolves.
Yep.
Kind of like off principle. Like we can't really backtrack you anymore. I mean, and that's the risk you take when you fight a top guy like right off the bat coming into a new division. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the Cannonier fight. I think that would be a good matchup. But no, good solid performance from Till. I think he probably answered some people's question at 185 as regards to like how would he look. I think we can probably comfortably say that the cut to 170 probably was affecting his performance somewhat. But I saw some additional wrinkles in his game that I like. So shout out to Darren Till. Oh, real quick before we move on, how this was a split decision, I don't know, because one of the judges scored this like 30-27 gas. I'm like,
so
bro, would you sleep with Kovalev?
That was Dave Torelli. That was my karate coach when I was 10 years old.
Oh no. Dave, what's going on, bro? Oh man. Yeah. Shout out to Dave. I don't know what he was watching. They read that scorecard. I was like, oh no. Y'all are not about to give this to Gasolin. Whew. In New York, of course, that'd be the place this would happen. But moving on. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Vicente Luque. What were your impressions on this fight?
Luque got off to a really strong start. Came forward, pushed Thompson back, was attacking with the leg kicks, and then Thompson adjusted, started switching stances. Really slick stuff from Southpaw, where he just literally just tag him, with the left straight down the middle. Keep him at distance with the lead right kick, front kick, or I'm sorry, side kick. From orthodox, great use of the jab. Again, good use of leg kicks. He did a great job from the second round on of just getting Luque to turn. That was the thing that I liked from this performance. Like, just Luque would come forward, Thompson would hit an angle, Luque would try to follow, and then walk into a punch. It was really good stuff. Karate collision stuff. Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think. That's probably the best performance of Thompson. No, wait, second best performance of Thompson's career, behind what he did to Masvidal.
Yeah, it's up there. Like I said, that first round, Luque was able to pressure. He was able to kind of crowd Thompson's space a little bit. I think he had stunned him in the first because he kind of just pushed forward with a flurry and just kind of let his hands go. But after that first round, he couldn't really pressure like he was in the first. And boy, Thompson he hit the command list in the Tekken moveset, and he just started letting everything loose. That left hand is a laser when he throws that straight down the middle. Because I think that was what he dropped Luque with at one point. But yeah, I just really liked it from the second and third round. Just really good precision on his shots, really good timing, able to kind of avoid Luque's pressure. And I mean, props to Luque, because like every time Thompson would like rock Luque or catch him against the cage and let a combination loose, Luque would fire back something to kind of remind him, like, you're not about to just rush in here and think it's sweet. I don't know how Luque survived, because he was eating some shots, boy. He was taking a lot of like just really ridiculously hard pinpoint hits, and he was just still out there just winging it. Nah, man, Thompson looked really sharp, man. Just like I said, really good precision, good footwork in the second and third round. Love the side kick that just kind of put Luque down, even though it wasn't like a vicious side kick, but like he's really just fun to watch when he's just kind of like operating at like peak level. Dude, he's really, really fun to watch. But shouts to both, man. Like I said, probably one of the boys' best performances. Good to see him just show that he ain't done yet. Yeah, he had a little rough patch, but he's still a really good fighter. Like, you're not about to just come in here and just kind of bully him around. Wouldn't mind seeing him in a couple of more of those like kind of violent welterweight fights.
Yeah, get him in there with the leech.
Right. Get him in there with the leeches of the world, the Nico Prices, the Jeff Neals. Like, there's still guys in that like kind of mid-tier welterweight who still need to fight a big name. And I think Wonder Boy would be a good match for.
Conversely, if they do want to get him somebody in the top 10, may I suggest Ponzinibbio or RDA?
I like the RDA. I forgot, is Ponzi injured?
He was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler at UFC 245, but he is injured, yes.
Okay. I like the RDA fight. I think that would be a fun. There are a lot of good matchups for Wonder Boy after this. But nah, man, just really, if you would just want to see what some beautiful striking looks like, just watch that fight, man. Wonder Boy, he's really fun to watch. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson got the unanimous decision victory over Vicente Luque. Heavyweights, man. Moving on down. Derek Lewis versus Blagoy Ivanov. We told y'all all this. We tell this every Derek Lewis fight. When they every time Blagoy took Lewis down, they would be like, "Oh man, Blagoy's got this legit sambo and submissions." I'm like, y'all don't know Derek Lewis, do y'all?
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis wills things into existence. When Derek Lewis gets taken down, when he finally decides that it's time to get back up, it's just time to get back up, and there's nothing you can do. There's no technique that can stop it. He's just going to get back up. That's it. That's all there is to it. And that happened on like 3 separate occasions. Goy got him down early in the first, took him down. Probably less than a minute later, he's back up. He just wills it into existence, and there's nothing you can do about it. But props to Blagoy, because like Derek Lewis, what round did he KO Volkov in? Was that the last round?
Third round, yes.
And that was a fight where he was getting savagely beat on. Probably was gassed beyond belief. And still managed to just clean Volkov's clock in the third round. So I can only imagine how hard Derek Lewis hits when he's in the first round and he hasn't been like completely gassed out. And he's hitting Blagoy with uppercuts, you know, that power right hand that he likes to throw. And somehow Blagoy is still like alive and still like fighting back after eating like a pretty good number of those. Dude was just still there.
What the heck? Like, I'm trying to remember the Alexander Volkov fight, because that's the only other dude. That's the only dude who's knocked Blagoy out. And I want to say it was like a shot to like the side of the head, because that's what it takes, like right below the ear. That's what it's gonna take to knock this dude out, because he ate everything that Derek Lewis threw.
Yeah, that's got to be kind of demoralized. I know, like Derek Lewis, he's well aware of how hard he hits, and it's like, bruh, like, why are you still here? Like, why are you still here? It was a pretty, for a heavyweight fight, I was thoroughly entertained. Like, you would get moments where there was not a lot going on. They're either like clinching or Blagoy's trying to take him down, but your efforts are futile. You mere mortal.
I will say, Derek Lewis looked like he was in better shape than we've seen before.
Yeah, he was a little leaner. He was definitely a little leaner. And that's good to see. Like this, I guess you could say late in his career, that he's kind of maybe taking that side of the game a little more seriously in terms of coming in good shape.
Better shape.
Yeah, better shape. Hopefully that helped with that bad back he got. Hopefully.
Yeah,
alleviate some of that stress. But nah, man, for a heavyweight fight, I was thoroughly entertained. Like I got some heavy hits. I got Derek Lewis just getting up whenever he wanted to get up. Blagoy landed some pretty good shots also. It was a fun heavyweight outing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a fun fight. God. I'd be cool with, depending on how he's feeling, Derek Lewis filling in for Walt Harris against Overeem. Because there are some shenanigans to be had there.
God, yeah, that might be. I feel like that fight would make me laugh, cry, and piss me off all within the span of like 5 minutes. Like I would go through every range of emotion watching Overeem and Lewis. Hey man, book it. I'm for it. I like that idea. But Derek Lewis won split decision over Blagoy Ivanov. Rounding out the main card, Kevin Lee versus Gregor Gillespie. Thoughts, concerns. What you got for this fight?
Kevin Lee is good. Like, that was the most comfortable I've ever seen him look on the feet. Like, because he even against Barbosa, which I guess is like his best striking performance, like, it was mostly him just like not panicking, but just like everything felt rushed. You know what I mean? Where he was in like gear 11 the entire fight. And yeah, that works against Edson Barboza because Barboza's the dude who gets friggin' like you get him moving too quickly, he just loses control and just loses the fight. But here, he was patient. Like he got his jab working. Um, he was countering. I don't remember Kevin Lee ever countering anybody before. Like the counter right hand to the switch head kick that ended the fight. I've never seen that out of him before. Like
Yeah, man.
we've seen
Faraz a hobby.
yeah, like you could tell he was working with Faraz too because he had the same like Rory McDonald stance where like he's leaning forward, like all his weight's on his front foot, and he's throwing that long jab. But hell, Gillespie didn't even look bad. Like dude looked crisp and
Yeah, he tagged him a decent good number of times.
yeah, he opened up a cut on the left side of Kevin Lee's face. Like he tagged him pretty well to the body and head. It's just that he got his jab countered really well by Kevin Lee, and then the fight was instantly over.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice they pretty much just had a boxing match up until that last
Mm-hmm.
sequence. Just a lot of jabs, counter hooks, really like quick twitch, just kind of, they were just kind of like in the zone, and then like you said, out of nowhere, that was a beautiful counter to Gillespie's jab, and then to follow it up with that head kick, boy. We just saw the way Gillespie's body just fell back, and his head hit the cage. It was like, oh, like, ew, like he's done. Like, it was kind of scary at first when I saw his head like bounce off the cage. I was like, oh man, y'all get that man some attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you don't. All knockouts are bad, but when somebody's head bounces off the cage, when it bounces off of anything, it's just kind of like, ooh, that's not good. No bueno. This is a random side note. I don't know if you saw, and I don't know if this is real, but I'm assuming it was. It was funny. I guess somebody posted the picture of Gillespie laid out and Kevin walking away. I think it was on Instagram. He commented up at the bottom, "Bernie Sanders, you bastard." And for those who don't know, Gregor Gillespie is from what I heard, I didn't know this until like a day or two ago, apparently an avid Trump supporter. Didn't know that.
That makes all sense in the world.
So he did that for the burn, I guess. But
feel the burn, motherfucker.
Right. But nah, man.
I like the new Kevin Lee. He looks he's focused.
Yeah. You know what I didn't realize either? I feel like we've seen him fight a ton, and it didn't hit me until yesterday. Like, oh, he's still only 27.
Yeah.
Like, he still got time to really like put this all together, and him. Hopefully we see more of this move to TriStar like paying off with Faraz, but this probably was like the perfect time. Like, he made it. He's fought in a lot of great competition, as you do at lightweight and welterweight. He's been in a lot of tough fights, lost some really tough fights. So he's kind of gotten, a lot of guys his age don't have that experience that he does in terms of like consistently fighting like that high level of competition all the time. So this might be perfect timing for him going to Faraz and him kind of like making adjustments to his game.
I think like more than any damage he's taken, because he hasn't taken too much damage. I don't think it's not like the Ferguson Iaquinta and like RDA fights where like he got his ass beat from start to finish. So like the worst he's taken thus far has been the Santos fight where he got knocked out. So it's just a confidence thing. Essentially, it's just a confidence thing. But like this is like if I was worried about him for anything, it would be okay. Not only did I get a title shot and lost by getting submitted from a position I'm supposed to be strongest in, but I made all these improvements and lost and rematched a dude who I had a close fight with and lost again. And then I tried to move up in weight and then lost again, I guess, to a guy who has lost like his last 3 fights to dudes who have a similar stylistic approach as me. You know what I mean? So like my worry was for him, like, okay, all these losses are just going to shock his confidence or drain his confidence, and like that's probably the most important thing you can have about yourself as a fighter. Like, if you're not confident in what you're doing, like you're gonna lose. Like, you're not gonna be able to pull that trigger. And for us, was able to turn around for him, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him keep improve. And even though Gillespie lost, I want to see more of these lightweights on the rise get these kind of fights. Because we need to see where some of these guys are at. And even though Gillespie lost, like up until he got KO'd, like you said, he still looked pretty good. So I want to see more of those guys get these kind of fights. Nah, man, really good performance from Kevin Lee. I hope the move to TriStar continues to pay off. Like I said, at only 27, he still got a lot left in the tank. Still got plenty more left in him, and I hope it works out, man. He looked really good. I like what I saw, and that throw that in there for an honorable mention on the list of KOs of the year. That was whoosh. Yeah, get that. Yeah, he needed milk after that one, boy. Yikes. But,
death, just nothing but death. Ugh.
Yeah. To the astral plane you go. But props to Kevin Lee, man. That was an amazing finish. So that was the main card. So moving on, like I said, changing things around a little bit. We're gonna call this segment the Prelim Spotlight. I'll read the results of all the prelims, but we're not gonna dive into them. But guess each of us can pick like 1 or 2 prelims briefly that we just want to highlight and talk about. Probably terrible because I didn't actually pick mine, so I'm just kind of looking through to see what. Because this whole card was good, man. Like,
yeah, there's not a fight on here that you should skip. Like, they were all good.
Yeah, this is one of those cards that you do actually need to watch every fight. But if I'm gonna highlight 2 prelims to pick, I'm gonna pick Edmund Shabazian versus Brad Tavares, and I'm highlighting this fight because I wasn't like completely sold on Shabazian. And there's a part of me that kind of still isn't, but
understandably so, because he's been outside the first round once.
Right. And but also I kind of have to give him props because I didn't think he would kind of walk through Tavares like this. I thought this would be one of those fights that he maybe would win, but he would probably have to work for it a little bit. But nah, he got that left kind of like pawing jab and then hiding the head kick behind it. Mm-hmm. That finish was whoosh. That was beautiful.
He learned that from Edmund Taverdian.
And that's a whole nother conversation. Like, and you know what's crazy? Like, as much as I don't want to give Edmund any credit, he has been with Shabazian since like day one.
Since he was 10.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I know we feel how we feel about old boy.
Maybe he's like Virgil Hunter, where like only the fighters he's been with since day one are the ones he like can actually coach and like make decent. But if Edmund Taverdian manages to get a second UFC champion, tying like Andre Pederneiras for the number of UFC champions that he's trained.
That is
like wait, would he have one more than Faraz Sahabi? Because who else does Sahabi have besides GSP?
I forgot who's over there now.
Like over there now, it's like nobody, but like it's like Ryan Hall and all the other guys he teaches the Imanari role to. But I believe that's one more than Sarah Longo would have between the two of them.
That's crazy. He the GOAT. That's wild.
Mark Henry has 2 with Eddie and Frankie. Unless I'm missing somebody. Like I guess Javier Mendez has 2.5, 3 if you count Khabib. Oh, 4 because he has Luke. Or he had Luke. I don't know if Luke's still there.
Either way, he's
he'll have one more than freaking what's his name?
Yeah. That's wild.
Hume.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. That.
Goddamn.
What a sport. What a sport.
Coach Eddie T, greatest coach of all time.
Yeah. He overcame the front kick.
We gotta look at
30.
we gotta look at Jackson's numbers.
His 30 for 30 gonna be crazy. That's a wild 30 for 30.
I filed for bankruptcy because Ronda Rousey didn't pay me.
But I'm gonna highlight that one, and the second, I feel like I know the 2 you're gonna highlight, so I'm not gonna do. And you know what? I'll highlight the one that I'm pretty sure is the elephant in the room. Corey Anderson versus Johnny Walker. Man, yeah, we thought Johnny, or we hoped Johnny, this is the fight where we were going to see who Johnny was.
We saw who Johnny was.
We saw who Johnny was. And it didn't work out that good, man. Corey came in there, put hands on Mr. Johnny Walker, right hand to be specific, and he proceeded to beat the bricks off of Johnny Walker until the ref had to stop it all inside of 1 round.
Yeah.
And I gotta give props to Corey, man. Like, he's gotten a lot better. I remember back when he wasn't the most, sometimes he's not the most exciting guy to watch, but I think he's gotten a lot better at just kind of putting it all together, and we saw it. And he caught Johnny Walker with that right hand, gave him the happy feet, and it was over. Corey is a top 205er.
Hey, yeah, dude, 4 in a row. He's got wins over Cummins, Teixeira, and Ilir Latifi. Like, his striking's been getting better. Like, I think we talked about it after the Latifi fight. That fight was almost a year ago. So he's only been in the gym getting better since then, in theory. But he's so much more comfortable just letting his hands go. A large part of Johnny Walker's success thus far have been guys who just don't know what to do with him. Like, Walker was in there feinting with the jab, changing levels, throwing the right hand over the top. Like, the right hand that hurt Walker. Give me 1 second, because I'm about to yell this.
But, yeah, man. Corey, Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, dude, just like the level, like, Walker got caught reaching because he thought Corey Anderson was changing levels to take him down, and he put both arms out there and then proceeded to eat a right hand over the top. I guess we have an answer on if Walker is good or not. The answer is he's athletic. And here's the thing: he could still I saw people talking about Corey Anderson was getting knocked out at this point in his UFC career. And who was the other dude? Jan Blachowicz. But they came to the UFC with skill sets that were that were designed to win fights over the course of 3 rounds. Corey Anderson was beasting 25-8 or whatever for a reason. This is because he puts pace on people. He has a wrestling game he can always go to. Jan Blachowicz, BJJ black belt, deep well of skills. had an okay boxing like game that won him a couple fights on the regional scene. Before it really developed for him in the UFC. But Walker is literally just all tricks, no like substance thus far. Maybe we just haven't seen him go long enough to like see what he can actually do. And 3-minute sprint fights with I don't know, Misha Serkinov, Corey Anderson, Khalil Roundtree, and Justin Gadet haven't been enough to like really get us a good look at him. But if he doesn't develop like an actual game, I don't know what like his like I like what's to stop this from happening again.
Yeah,
because
it might be one of those losses he probably needed.
I mean, but like here's the thing: he's had this loss before. Like he got in Jungle Fight. He got knocked out by Henrik Silva.
And that knockout was...
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked. That knockout was crazy.
And that knockout was in like 18 seconds.
Yeah.
So like...
But... Yeah, I don't know. Walker...
yeah, like this is Walker's 20th fight.
Back to the drawing board. That was...
Maybe he needs to buy the drawing board because like...
I don't know. I was saying maybe the knockout on this bigger stage could be like, all right, you know, I really gotta. Now, if this comes out and happens again, I'll be quiet. But I'm not gonna write him off yet.
Like, I'm not writing him off. But I'm like, I am.
But there's concern.
Like,
there's valid concern.
Mm.
But what 2 fights would you like to highlight from the prelim?
All right, so you took one I was going to talk about because I was going to talk about Walker Anderson because I was really impressed with Anderson. But instead I'll talk Burgos Amirkhani. So I think it's a testament to how good of a grappler Amirkhani is that his style of fighting has worked thus far in the UFC, where he was able to go like, what was it, 5-1 or something before this fight, because his style of wrestle grappling is just complete sprinting, like to the point where it's like if it ever leaves the first round, you're like curious if he has anything left in the gas tank. And we saw that here because Burgos is a big, strong 145er who has some grappling skills of his own, is a fairly good wrestler. And while he was not able to break every early first round wrestling exchange with Amirkhani, he was able to make Amirkhani work. Something that he's not really used to doing when he shoots on people. So he'll have the back, but Burgos will get to his feet and start fighting hands. And maybe he won't break the grip, but he'll force Amirkhani to try to have to drag him back down to the ground. And that paid dividends because come the second round, Amirkhani was gassed. And the body shots were not helping. Burgos was eating him to the body. Just straight up devouring him. And then when Amirkhani would double over trying to like guard his body, he would go upstairs and tag him, and he ended up dropping him in that round. So it's at this point where I have to throw a big what the hell are you doing to John Kavanagh, who, knowing what type of fighter Amirkhani is, you know, a wrestler with next to no comfort striking on the feet, deciding to just throw Amirkhani out there for a third round, begging him to go get the win for his people, his country.
Yeah, bro, that ain't gonna save him.
That, like, no, like, if you're gonna send a guy out there who has like that, so just to be clear, I mean they should have stopped the fight after the second round, and by they I mean John Kavanagh. But if you're gonna send the guy back out there to march to his doom, at least give him some real advice. Right. Beyond I know you're tired, but think of all the people you'd let down if you lose. Because
and it's like, bro, them people can't help me. They not in here.
exactly. Are they coming? Am I getting backup?
Right.
Like
this gladiator speech is not working, bro.
Yeah. So Burgos, who just gets friggin' more aggressive as the fight goes on, proceeds in the third round to just lay the fuck into Americani to the point where I'm like, this is going to be a 10-7 round. And it just puts an absolute shellacking on the man. God damn, I love Shane Burgos. Just so fun to watch. He's still
he's a tank, man. He just keeps
dude
just does not stop.
Yes.
Poor Americani.
Dude, just
sent that man to march right off the cliff.
Mm-hmm. And I think Burgos struggles with left-hander southpaws, which is why Americani did have some success when he did decide to throw that left hand and that jab, but it just was too inconsistent. Like he really likes to go back into that cage to force people to chase after him so that he can get the takedown. But that's where Burgos wants him to be, because it just makes it easier to punch him in the body. So, great win for Burgos. Top of featherweight's great. It's just a bunch of really break shit tough fighters. I would love to see Burgos fight like Yair Rodriguez or Josh Emmett. Bektik even, like just one of those dudes. I'd like to see him fight Jeremy Stevens. That'd be fun. But just great overall performance from Burgos. Happy he's it was his 2 in a row now because he got the submission 3 in a row. I forgot about the club fight. So yeah, no, great. 6-1 in the UFC. And my last fight, which I did not pick out yet, so give me 1 second. See, I thought you were going to talk about Jorginho.
I looked at it. I was like, man, I like Arlovsky. I don't want to.
You know what? Like, there were some good fights on the prelims, the early prelims, but there was Dawadu, Arce, Lyman Good beating the crap out of Chance for encounter. But because I think it was an unofficial title eliminator, which, well, you're gonna put that in your Fight Pass prelims. But Chikagian versus Jennifer Maia. So I saw a lot of Chikagian banter on Twitter before the fight, because Chikagian comes from the same school of punching and kicking as Holly Holm, where they are very loud and like to punch air. But I will give Chikagian credit. Over her last 2 fights, she has been more willing to, not just more willing, she's been sitting down on her punches. She is I'm not going to say trying to hurt people, but she is being more aggressive with her combinations. She's sitting less on her bicycle, trying to get away from people, and she is trying to put hands on people. And I will give her credit for that, because once you have a stigma attached to you, it's kind of hard to shake it. So credit to her for that. She ends up picking up the unanimous decision win here over Jennifer Maia, who kind of just struggled to get a hand on Chikagian because of Chikagian's reach and footwork. So props to Chikagian for the win. She's probably going to fight Valentina Shevchenko. My guess would be as early as December. If they need Shevchenko, they need a title fight for if they need a new main event for that Washington, D.C. card, or probably as late as February, because they like to keep Shevchenko busy. So, yeah.
There we go. And just to recap all the results of the prelims. Corey Anderson knocked out Johnny Walker, round 1. Shane Burgos, TKO, Makwan Americani in round 3. Edmund Shabazian sent Brad Tavares to the next life in round 1. Jairzinho Rosenstruck face planted Andrei Arlovsky in like 30 seconds in round 1. Caitlin Chukagian got the unanimous decision over Jennifer Maia. Lyman Good had a really good performance against Chance Renkoner, TKO'd him in round 3, and Hakeem Dawodu got a split decision win over Julio Arce.
All right, so real quick, I know we were only supposed to talk about 2 fights, but I have to bring up the Arlovsky knockout real quick.
Oh god.
So I'm only bringing it up because of the finishing sequence. Literally, Arlovsky throws a shifting right hand, leaping at Rosenstruck as he does so, and gets caught with a check left hook as Rosenstruck is stepping back. Rosenstruck showed him the check left hook before Andrei Arlovsky threw that right hand. And it was the funniest thing because he shows the punch. Arlovsky, with no regard for what he just saw, he throws himself at the younger, faster man and proceeds to get knocked out with the punch that Rosenstruck just showed him. Fucking phenomenal.
Heavyweight MMA, man.
Yes.
Rosenstruck's a problem, man.
The man is...
Dude hits.
He hits like a freaking Mack truck.
Yeah.
He's like Derek Lewis, except he doesn't get beat up.
Right. So he should probably have a big... I mean, and that's a good name to have on your record. So he's probably lining himself up for a pretty big fight next. Man. Yeah, shout out to Rosenstruck. R.I.P. Arlovsky. Yeah. But that was it, man. UFC 244. Really good card, man. Really good card from top to bottom, man. So many good fights. A lot of finishes on the prelims. It was an amazing card from top to bottom. It just really sucks the way the Diaz Masvidal fight just kind of ended. It kind of sucked the air out of everything. But all in all, man, this was a really good card. I actually did come out of wallet for this, and I was happy. I think I got my money's worth. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Wasn't that card like $75 or some shit?
No, it's 60.
Oh, okay.
70 if you no, I don't do that. I ain't paying. I ain't paying 70 for that.
Yeah, no, I could have sworn I saw somebody post that it was like $75.
You can do probably if you get like HD or 70. If I know ESPN Plus has it for if you pay 70. You get the pay-per-view. Somehow it helps you save money. You pay more now, but they take off a price. I forgot how it works, but I'm not dropping. Show me $70, I'll show you the nearest bootleg link. Don't play with me. I ain't dropping 70. But I'll pay like 60. I feel like I got my money's worth. But no, this is a really good card. Go back and watch it. Like literally watch every fight. All the fights were good. It was awesome. Go back and watch the Kovalev and Canelo fight. PFL, I ain't gonna rush you to watch that, but watch the Invicta FC card we mentioned. That card was also really awesome from top to bottom, and it wasn't a really long card. Well, aside from most of the fights went to decision, but it was still a really good, entertaining card. So go back, watch all the cards that we mentioned. And real quick, upcoming cards. Next week, we got UFC Moscow, headlined by Zabit Magomed Sharapov and Calvin Kattar. Also on the card, Alexander Volkov versus Greg Hardy, Danny Roberts versus Zelim Amayadev. I'm not even going to try to say this next. Why is Ed Herman on this card? Gazmarad Antigulov versus Ed Herman. Anthony Rocco Martin versus Razman Ameev. What else we got on here? Rustam Kabalov's on here against Sergey Kanjoko. Carl Robeson's on the card against Roman Kopylov. Jessica Rose Clark versus Penny Kianzad. It looks like a pretty decent card. Should be a good time.
Yep.
Definitely looking forward to the main event. That main event's gonna be some heat. Does Bellator got anything next week?
Yes, they have a card featuring. Hold up, I had it right here.
Oh yeah, John Salter.
John Salter and Stenis. Costello Stenis? Is that how you say his name?
Costello Van Stenis.
Yes.
King Mo is back.
Hey.
Against Andrew Capel. Tyrell Fortune's on the card against Azuna.
Leslie Smith.
Anyanwu.
Yes, Azuna Anyanwu, who is a UFC veteran of one fight, lost a split decision to Justin Ledet, and then they cut him.
Nah.
Yeah. Leslie Smith and Arlene Blencow. And on the prelims, you got Janae Harding versus Amanda Bell and Romero Khan. So, this.
And Jordan Young.
And Jordan Young. There you go. There was something else next week. Hold up. I'm not crazy. Let me see. This is Moscow. Bellator. Oh, one. There we go. Joshua Pasio versus Rene Catalan. And Edward Folayang versus Amar Sana.
There you go. Oh, Stamp's on the card. No, Stamp.
Oh, there you go. Also, we have boxing next week, Sensei. And do you know what that means?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Are you ready for... I still don't know how to say his name.
He's KSI. I don't care.
KSI versus Logan Paul. The main event from the Staples Center for a card also featuring current WBO super middleweight champion Billy Joe Santos. How bad is your career going that you have to? Oh my God! Just from the rumor mill, I've heard that they've had troubles actually selling out the Staples Center for the card because most of these people's fans are children.
Wow.
So, I think they vastly overestimate how many grown adults with actual money care.
Yeah, they had to know this. This should have been like they did the first one.
It should have been a YouTube pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah. Because they would have made a ton of money. Yeah. But, y'all, I know y'all going to judge us, but we're talking about that fight.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Only because I think I speak for both of us. We don't have attachment to either of these gentlemen. This is purely a spectacle for us.
I mean, I'm rooting for Kasai, or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh, yeah, he's the rapper. Yeah. Would be. I don't know what he is. I don't care. I just want to see shenanigans.
The other guy is, I don't know if he's the brother or if he is the actual dude who, is like electrocuting rats and filming dead people's bodies and putting them on YouTube.
I think that was him. I don't remember if it's not guilty by association. I haven't heard flattering things about either of the brothers, so I'm going to assume both of them are kind of dry. So this is a KSI podcast.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, we're definitely talking about that fight, breaking it down, giving you the play-by-play analysis. So next week should be fun. But yeah, that's what we got coming.
No, I'm sorry. We mentioned the joke fight. I want to mention the serious fight because the man we both fear and respect is fighting this week. Oddly enough, on Thursday, Naya Inoue.
Ooh.
He will be fighting in the World Boxing Super Series Super Bantamweight Bantamweight Championship. Tournament final versus Nonito Donaire. So that's must-watch stuff right there. Naya Inoue, another contestant for pound best fighter on the planet. Dude's really...
That boy hit hard.
He hit hella hard, bro.
That man hits ridiculously hard. Yeah, if you've never seen an Inoue fight, go look up some highlights on YouTube and then go check that fight next week. Cause that man, yeah. So next week should be fun, man. There'll be a lot to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it. But we can go ahead and get ready to close out. So we're gonna end with a new segment before we close out. Fight recommendation. This is the part of the podcast where we'll either recommend you a fight to watch, or if we don't have a specific fight, we'll just give you maybe an up and coming fighter, somebody maybe you don't know about that you should keep an eye on. So the fighter that I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a fight to watch and just a guy you should keep an eye on. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. The gentleman's name is Saladin Parnasse. It's SalahDine. Parnasse spelled Parnasse. He is a 21-year-old featherweight. He currently fights in KSW. The fight that I'll recommend you guys watch because it's on YouTube is Saladin Parnasse versus Roman Szymanski. It was at KSW 58. Sorry, not 58, 48. That fight, I believe, is on YouTube. But at 21, man, this kid's really good. He has a lot of good upside. Really athletic. Really good striking. I didn't get to see a ton of his ground game because I've only watched a few of his fights. But it looked solid enough. To be at 21, he looked really good. His upcoming fight, which is going down actually in December at KSW 52, he'll be facing Ivan Buchinger for, I think it's their vacant. Oh, no. I lied. Parnasse is the interim featherweight champ. He's defending his interim title against Ivan Buchinger at KSW 52. That's going down on December 7th. So KSW is on DAZN. So if you have DAZN, look up this kid. He's, for 21 years old, he's really good. I have to imagine that if he successfully wins his title and eventually fights the champ, you're going to see him either in a Bellator, in a UFC, or in a major organization. The kid is really, really good. So that'll be my fight recommendation.
All right, so since we were gone for 2 weeks, so we didn't get to talk about this fight, this other World Boxing Super Series fight, but the junior welterweight tournament came to a close with a fight between Regis Prohais and Josh Taylor from Scotland, and that was one hell of a fight. Taylor had one of his eyes closed and still managed to take out a decision. It was a fantastic fight of the year, contender worthy fight. Go give it a watch. It's available on DAZN, but I'm sure you can find it on like Daily Motion, and other non-authentic legal means. So go get that watch. It was great.
There you go. And real quick before we leave, any closing thoughts? Any last shout outs you want to give before we roll out?
Yes. So shout out to two people because we didn't get to talk about in the news section, but I figured I'd just take shots at them anyway. Shots at Oscar De La Hoya and Conor McGregor, who got in trouble for the same reason. Sexual assault. Oscar De La Hoya is being sued for sexual assault from a case from, I want to say either earlier this year or last year. Or was it 2017? I can't remember. And Conor McGregor, who was hinted at in the was it the Suns or the Times, the Irish newspaper, it was hinted that he got into trouble again this past year, and sure enough, the New York Times named him as the suspect in yet another sexual assault case, the second in less than a year. So, shots at them. And for those people saying, well, innocent until proven guilty, my response is, where there's smoke, there's fire. And McGregor's, you know what? Shots at McGregor's boys from SBG, who got into trouble while we were on break for stuffing for trying to basically kidnap some poor barmaid. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Yeah, they tried to stuff her in a car so that she would leave with them.
Yikes.
So, it's not been a good month from outside the cage ring for combat sports. So,
but when is it ever?
Yeah, that's true.
Sadly.
Who's on your docket? What's on your docket?
I didn't really think of it. I don't think I have. I mean, I guess all I can say is just shout out to everybody who's been supporting Walt Harris while he's been going through this. I've seen a lot of people reposting it and I can't remember names, but like they've upped the price for people to give information.
I think it's like $100,000 or something.
Yeah, it's close to that, and it's that sucks, man. I could only imagine what that guy, what Walt Harris is going through. So shout out to everybody who's just kind of been supporting him along the way. Because you know it's bigger than fighting. Like it sucks that he had to withdraw from a fight because, like you said, life just got really real, like really like unexpectedly, and you hate to see it. But it's good at least to see people come together, show support, try to, you know, try to help him as best you can in a situation like that. I think that's all I got. I don't have any. I probably did have a shot earlier, but I always forget my shots. I always forget who I'm at for the week. So I think that's all I got. I'll just shout you guys out. But yeah, that's all we got for today's show. So as always, give this podcast a listen. SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Give us looks on social media at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page as well as the Instagram page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. Hit me and Anticool up on Twitter. Me at Serial Sensei. Anticool at GC Zeus. And follow me on Twitch at Serial Sensei, where I have been gaming semi-actively during my staycation, but that's about to end. But, boo. But I'll still be on there. So you can check me out on Twitch also. But that's all we got for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And until next time, we will catch you guys later.